coming in. Adhir Ranjan has written to the president and apologized for his remark. He had addressed Rashtrapati as Rashtrapatni, and that was clearly not something that was taken kindly. My colleague Pallavi with us on the broadcast. Pallavi, an unqualified apology.
Yes, and look at what they are doing. The demand for an apology was from the BJP on the floor of the House. That he refused to do yesterday. He said it very categorically, I will not apologize to these Pakhandis, to use his words. I'll only do so to the president from whom I've sought an appointment. But clearly he hasn't got an appointment. Instead, Mr. Amit Shah and Smriti Irani both met the president. So now he writes directly to the president. And politically speaking, the attempt really, Anusha, is to douse the fire and a little bit of a back foot on which the Congress party was on this issue. And they are hoping that for this, the matter stays to rest and no more of the controversy in which Sonia Gandhi is dragged in.
Pallavi, why would you say that this is a slight shift from the earlier position of the Congress party? Because this is an unqualified apology?
Yes, Anusha, yesterday, if you notice the words which came in from the Congress and Sonia Gandhi herself, she said that, Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary has apologized already. Clearly, the fire was coming on Sonia Gandhi. And whatever one may say, you may call it a slip of the tongue, you may say that not knowing Hindi, the fact is this is something which the Congress realized could be used against it over the next few days, and it didn't want to do that. So also to get that kind of a sympathy factor, also to do a redux of a lone woman fighting against the men or the BJP and taking them on, I think that's the narrative that they now want to build, which is why they are also making it Sonia Gandhi versus the BJP, while at the same time cover up this kind of an embarrassment which they have faced over Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary's comments.
Pallavi, I want you to stay with us on the broadcast. Please be a part of this discussion. Shehzad Poonawala of the BJP is also joining us on the broadcast. Shehzad, this is an unqualified apology coming in from Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary.
This is not a slip of tongue. It is a slip of character of the Congress, which has time and again been insulting Sena, Samvidhan, those who are the constitutional office bearers, or even the country, because they want to only believe in Parivar Tantra, not in Lok Tantra. And therefore, look at this apology also, the arrogance with which some people were speaking from the Congress, the manner in which Renuka Chaudhary and Udit Raj have come out and defended this statement. So on the one hand, they say they are apologizing, but it seems to be a cosmetic apology, because what action has been taken on the likes of Ajoy Kumar, who said that she represents, Madam President represents an evil mindset? What action has been taken on those who called her a dummy candidate? The Pondicherry Congress unit has said that officially. So, this is half-hearted apology only because they go in full throttle to insult the institutions of our democracy, and therefore the apology must come from Sonia ji, it must come from Rahul ji, that whether they endorse this, whether they sponsor this, whether they patronize this kind of language being used against the Rashtrapati.
Well, Shehzad, if this is an unqualified apology, and at the end of the day, Madam President is of the entire country, does not belong to a particular political party, and it's very right that the Congress party should have apologized much earlier. It's coming much later after much pressure from the government, the flag that they faced in the public domain. But what the Congress party argues is that in the garb of this entire issue, the BJP wants to avoid a debate on much more critical issues like inflation and price rise.
No, is there argument that Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary has made this statement on our behalf so that we could avoid a debate? The fact is that we've been open for debate from day one. The fact is, who's been picking up non-issues like why is the national emblem looking angrier? Why is Sonia Gandhi being investigated by ED? These are the non-issues that they have brought to the fore. We haven't brought them. Secondly, Sadak Ka Gunda was used for the army chief by the Congress party, no action taken. They have raised questions on surgical strike, Balakot airstrike. They've undermined the Supreme Court, undermined Election Commission, no action taken on these people. Now they undermine the Rashtrapati, no action taken on Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary. So we are asking very humbly, what action will the Congress's first family take against these people who are serial offenders of the Samvidhan, unless these are sponsored attacks by the first family, because they don't want to talk about the corruption of the National Herald, because they don't want to talk about the corruption of TMC. Maybe that's why they're sponsoring these attacks.
There was a statement, Shehzad, that today came from one of the Congress leaders, and he said that, in fact, it's the first time that the government of the day is hindering the proceedings of the House. Various opposition MPs have been suspended, but what happens when the government of the day is not allowing the House to function? How do you respond to that charge?
Unfortunately, these people have all forgotten how they were subverting parliamentary procedures and processes when Supreme Court had spoken about corruption that had taken place under the UPA, and they would not allow Parliament to function for a discussion. this is not the situation right now. Every attempt is being made to ensure that discussions are held on real issues that the people want us to discuss. Last session you saw they ran away from price rise. Before that they ran away discussing from COVID and vaccination. So, they are the ones who kind of reduce parliament to a akhada where they can fight
Shehzad,
into vivad rather than samvad.
I also have Mr. Majid Memon of the NCP with us on the broadcast. Mr. Memon, there is an unqualified apology that is coming in from the Congress party from Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary. We also have Nasser Hussain of the Congress party joining us on the broadcast. I'll go to Mr. Nasser Hussain first. Mr. Hussain, we also have Mr. Shehzad Poonawala from the BJP, and he says that this is a half-hearted apology. You cannot make up for the kind of words that you've used against the president. How do you respond to that?
What has he used? What are the words he has used? How many words he has used? See, he has clearly said in a video which he released yesterday, and in which he has clearly said that he is a person from West Bengal. He has problem with Hindi language, and he in Hindi, if I remember correctly, he said, "Ye chook ho gayi hai." That means slip of tongue. Why would a person like Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary, as senior as Adhir Ranjan Chowdhary, demean the office of the President of India? So BJP is making a mountain out of a mole.
Okay.
They want to divert the attention of the people of this country from the real issues. They are on a back foot. Today, all the television channels, which they really don't do, have been discussing the issues raised by the opposition in the parliament. That is GST on food products, inflation, Agniveer, Chinese aggression and national security, and then CBI, misuse of CBI, ED and IT. These are the issues that are being discussed on all television channels, all social media platforms, in all newspapers, and in public domain everywhere. So they want to divert the issue. He had already apologized it. Then we said that let it be in writing, because he had said it in a video. He said you write it and send it to the President of India. There end the matter.
Right.
Over and above that, the way they tried to heckle Mrs. Gandhi, the way they targeted Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the way they misbehaved with Sonia Gandhi, this has never been seen in our 75 years of parliamentary democracy.
Mr. Majid Memon, do you agree with Mr. Nasser Hussain? Do you agree with Mr. Nasser Hussain when he says that an apology has come in? We should put this issue to rest now. Do you think this is enough, Mr. Memon?
No, the whole nation is watching this tamasha, that how a mountain is made out of mole. Adhir Ranjan, he did commit a mistake. Immediately he said, soon before the controversy could arise, he said that this is a slip of the tongue and I did not mean to hurt. The matter remains there. Still, they were wanting, no, give return apology. And then the drama that was going on,